You're standing in a store, and the anchor price, why original price changes what you're willing to pay, is about to hijack your brain. You see $500, now $199, and suddenly your hand is already reaching for it. Here's what nobody tells you about that 500. It was never really the price. In many stores, it was printed for one reason only, to be crossed out. The high number wasn't meant to be paid, it was meant to be seen. Because the moment your eyes touched it, something shifted. Your brain stopped asking what the thing is worth. It started asking how far you'd fallen from 500. $199 wasn't cheap. It just felt cheap. Against the right number, almost anything does. This is the anchor. The first figure you see becomes the gravity every other price bends toward. And once you understand how it grabs you, you start seeing it everywhere. In menus, in salaries, in the house you almost bought. The anchor moved first. It always moves first. Stay with me. By the end, you'll catch it happening in your own hand, the exact second it reaches. Look closely, and the whole store rearranges itself around that one first number. Think about the last thing you bought on sale. Not what you paid, what you were told it used to cost. That crossed out number did quiet work. It set a ceiling in your mind, and everything underneath it felt like a rescue. You didn't walk out proud of the object. You walked out proud of the gap, the distance between two numbers, one of them real, one of them chosen for you. That's the part that stings when you notice it. You weren't measuring value at all. You were measuring a discount, and a discount always needs an original to exist. No original, no bargain. So they give you one, generously. A number so high, the drop feels like a gift. You think the sale found you. The truth is quieter. The starting line was drawn before you arrived, and you ran from exactly where they placed you. And it worked. It always works. You felt smart while it happened, and you'd do it again tomorrow. So would I. That's how quiet it is. That's not a flaw in you. It's the design working exactly as intended. Now here's where it gets strange. The anchor doesn't even have to be a price. In 1974, two psychologists, Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman, ran a simple test. They spun a wheel of fortune, just a random number. Then they asked people to estimate how many African countries belonged to the United Nations. The wheel had nothing to do with the answer. Everyone knew that. It didn't matter. People who landed on a high number guessed high. People who landed on a low number guessed low. A meaningless spin moved their answers by around 20 points. Sit with that. A number pulled from thin air reached into their judgment and moved it. Not a price, not a fact, a random wheel. Your mind grabs the first number in the room and quietly builds from there. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't warn you. That's the whole trick in one spin. A number arrives, your judgment bends toward it, and you swear it didn't. A wheel, a guess, and a mind that couldn't tell the difference between the two. So retailers stopped leaving this to chance. The first number is engineered. It's the highest one they can justify, not because anyone will pay it, because it does its job before a word is spoken. Walk into almost any space built to sell. The expensive option greets you first, on purpose. It isn't there to be bought. It's there to make the next thing look reasonable. Furniture showrooms do it. Menus do it. The $80 dish exists, so the $40 looks kind. Even the item you were shown first was chosen to set the frame. You think you're browsing freely. You're being introduced to an anchor. And the sequence matters more than you'd believe. Whatever you see first becomes the ruler you measure the rest with. Change the order, and you'd feel differently about the exact same price. Nothing about the object changed, only the number that arrived before it. So the deck is arranged before you touch a card. You just read it as your own taste. First impressions don't just linger, they set the price of everything that follows them. Why does this work on all of us? Because your mind hates starting from nothing. Facing an unknown value is uncomfortable, so the brain reaches for the nearest number and treats it as a starting point. Then it adjusts, a little up, a little down. But here's the flaw. The adjustment is almost always too small. You never travel far enough from where you began. Psychologists call it anchor and adjust. You think you're deciding. You're mostly tweaking a figure someone else handed you. And it happens fast, faster than reasoning. The first number lands before your slow, careful thinking wakes up. By the time you're weighing pros and cons, the anchor is already sitting behind them. This is why willpower barely helps here. You can't argue your way out of a bias you never saw arrive. It moved in before the debate began. It sat down first, and it voted first. So don't blame yourself for the pull. It's not weakness, it's wiring. The bias arrives early, sits close, and speaks softly. You never hear it move. And once it decides, it dresses the decision up as logic. Now, the experiment that should unsettle you. At MIT, Dan Ariely and his colleagues gathered students, smart people, trained to think in numbers. They showed them wine, chocolate, a keyboard, a handful of ordinary objects. Then they asked something odd. Write down the last 2 digits of your social security number. Random digits. Everyone knew they were random. Then, treat those digits as a price. Would you pay that for the item? A quick yes or no? And after that, the real question. What's the most you'd actually bid, with real money on the line? Nothing connected those digits to the products. Nothing at all. A number from a government form, sitting beside a bottle of wine. You'd expect it to vanish from their minds instantly. It didn't. It stayed. It settled in. A random number, sitting quietly, waiting to be believed, and believed it was. What it did to their bids is the part nobody in that room accepted, not even after they saw the numbers. 6 ordinary objects, 1 random number, and a result that rewired how they saw both. Here's what happened. The students whose digits landed in the top 20% bid far higher, not a little higher, between 200 and 346% more than the students at the bottom, for the same objects, in the same room, on the same afternoon. A keyboard drew around $16 from the low group, around $56 from the high group, roughly 3 times the value, from a number scribbled minutes earlier, a number everyone agreed was meaningless. That's the weight of an anchor. It doesn't whisper, it multiplies. And remember, these weren't careless shoppers. These were students trained to reason about value for a living. The bias didn't care about their training. It reached straight past it. That's not a rounding error. That's a number bending a trained mind by triple. So ask yourself this. If a random 2-digit number can triple what a sharp mind will pay, what does a $500 tag placed there on purpose do to yours? Same room, same objects. 1 invisible number, splitting the price of everything in half or double. Triple the price from digits that meant nothing at all. But here's the twist that changes everything. After the auction, the researchers asked a simple thing. Do you think those random digits affected your bids? And the students said no, firmly, confidently. They were certain their choices came from real judgment. from the objects themselves, from reason. They were wrong, and they couldn't feel it. That's the quiet danger of this bias. The anchor doesn't leave a mark. There's no moment where you feel it tug. It works underneath awareness, then hands you a clean story about why you decided. A story that feels completely your own. So the next time you tell yourself you got a good deal, pause. That feeling is real. But the reason behind it might not be. You may just be standing exactly where someone wanted you to stand. Certain you chose freely, just like they were. That's the cruelest part. The pull leaves no fingerprints. You feel free the whole way down. Ask most people why they bought it, and they'll give you every reason but the real one. And this reaches far past shopping. The first number in any room becomes that room's center of gravity. In a salary talk, whoever names a figure first bends the whole conversation toward it. In a negotiation, the opening offer isn't information. It's an anchor, dropped on purpose. In a home you're touring, the asking price quietly reshapes what your own money feels like. Every day you accept starting points you never questioned. What a coffee should cost, what an hour of your time is worth, what a good raise even looks like. Most of those numbers were set by someone else, long before you arrived. You inherited a whole map of prices and called them your own opinions. But an opinion you never chose isn't really yours. It's an anchor wearing your voice. And the people who stay calm with money learn one habit. They ask who dropped the first number before they let it move them an inch. That's the shift, from accepting numbers to questioning where they came from. You call it common sense. It's usually just someone else's first number, repeated until it felt true. So watch how a different kind of mind moves. When the disciplined person sees 500, now 199, they don't feel the pull toward the gap. They step around it. They ask a colder, quieter question. Forget what it used to cost. What is this worth to me, today, in my life, at my table? That single reframe cuts the anchor loose. Because value isn't a distance from someone else's number. It's a fit with your own needs. They don't ask, is this a good deal? They ask, would I want this at this price if no other number existed? If the answer is no, the discount is just decoration, a costume on a want they never had. This is the whole difference. Not more income, not more willpower, just a steady habit of measuring things against their own life instead of against a number a stranger drew first. That's the muscle. Saying no to a starting line you never agreed to. Value lives in your life, not in the ink on a tag. That's the whole secret. Here's the uncomfortable part. You will never stop seeing anchors. They're built into almost everything you'll buy for the rest of your life. You can't switch off the bias. Your brain will always grab the first number it's given. That reflex is older than any store, but you can change what you do next. You can notice the reach, feel your attention, lock onto the gap, and in that half second, choose a different question. The trap isn't that you get anchored. Everyone gets anchored. The trap is believing the number you started from was ever the truth. It was a starting line, not a fact. Someone drew it and stepped back to watch you run from it. And the moment you see that line as a choice, theirs, not yours, it loosens its grip on you. You still see the number. It just stops deciding for you. So you stop being pulled. You start watching the pull. And watching is the whole freedom. You don't beat the anchor by never seeing it. You beat it by never trusting it blindly. So here's the habit. Before your next real purchase, do one thing. Cover the original price with your thumb. Hide it completely. Then ask the only question that truly belongs to you. What would I pay for this if I'd never seen another number? That answer is the value. Everything above it was borrowed from a stranger. This is the line worth keeping. The first price you see was written for them, not you. Say it before you reach, and the reach slows down. You're not fighting the discount. You're refusing to be measured by a number you didn't choose. And that small pause, the hidden tag, one honest question, is where the quiet leak stops, not from earning more, from ending the slow drain of paying for gaps that were designed for you. The anchor only works in the dark. It needs you not to look. So look. That's it. No spreadsheet, no willpower, just a thumb, a question, and a second of honest light. One breath, one question. That's the entire cost of getting your judgment back. So you're standing in a store again. 500, now 199. You feel the old pull. Your hand starts to lift toward it. But this time, something's different. You cover the first number with your thumb, and you ask what it's worth to you. The tag doesn't move you anymore. It just hangs there, a starting line you can finally see for what it is. Your hand settles. You decide from your life, not from their number. That's the whole game. Not resisting every sale, just catching the anchor before it reaches for you. The pull is still there. You just answer it differently now. The number came first for years, not anymore. Now you see it first.